straight ahead, got my head in the game. With the red light on, I'm just waiting for the change. Keep my head down low.
Hi, I'm Jay Fallon. Thanks for listening to The Slippery Slope. So, here in Queensland, it was announced a few days ago that we have a new police commissioner. His name is Steve Gollschewski. Okay, so listen, let's obviously, previous police commissioner, Katarina Carroll, she continually failed along the way. I had very high hopes for her when she first started. I thought she'd be good. I thought she was very promising. However, she really never seemed to find her feet in the role. I think a large part of the problem was uh, standing by her side quite often was the Honourable Mark Ryan, Minister for Police and isn't it prisons or something like that, corrections. So he, in my opinion, is quite inept. He's not a great leader, or he's not really a leader at all. He's just in a leadership position, but he's very managerial. Um, and he will say things that you sit there and go, well, it's like he's just saying things off the cuff, and he wants to come across as someone who can be hard nosed, but he's not leadership material. So I think part of the problem that she faced was she was always so closely connected to Mark Ryan, who is not a leader. Also, obviously, she didn't handle the pandemic very well at all. She brought in the mandates, which was extremely unpopular within across the service in general. And then we had the inquiry into domestic violence and other police issues, misogynistic behaviour within the police service in Queensland. She did not handle the inquiry well at all. Questioning, she just seemed to come across as I don't want to be too harsh. He's gone, but she didn't come across very well. You all know what happened, okay? And she didn't handle the questioning, and even just getting in front of the inquiry. The decision to get there, just she you, anyway. I don't want to dither on how she failed across the thing, but there was a few times you could see, okay, she wasn't handling the leadership role very well at all. She failed, um, and there was a bit of a shame. But seriously, I did think she could have done a better job. I thought she would have done a better job. She brought in the mandates, and things just went sideways from there. She could not admit that she'd done the wrong thing. Uh, there was plenty of times along the way she did the wrong thing. She failed, but she could never just admit her failings. Anyway, now it's been announced we have Steve Golczewski. Before we get into anything else, I want to bring back refresh your memory on who he is. This article from about 4 years ago. It was published 3 years ago, but it's about a time from a long, long time ago, 4 years ago. Steve Gollschewski, the man behind Fortress Queensland. Do you remember this? State disaster coordinator had a woe moment when directed to close the borders of one of Australia's biggest states. Yep, there he is there. So on a Monday morning in March, Queensland's Premier, remember her, Anastasia, informed Steve Golszewski the state's borders would close in 2 days and he was in charge of making it happen. When do you want it done? 2 days. Fantastic. A few hours later, then Premier Anastasia Palaszczuk let the public know in 92 characters. Breaking. Cabinet has decided to close Queensland's borders. I'll bring you more details. She's tweeted that in March 2020. The same day, Australia entered the first stage of a nationwide shutdown. Um, Goes on to say, yeah, public servants were still working. Traffic was in gridlock. People were confused. No helpline had been set up. Gollschewski, the deputy police commissioner and state disaster coordinator, knew the original board regime would be clunky and rudimentary. But Chief Health Officer Jeanette Young, you'll remember her. It's another name you never want to hear again, I bet. She said it needed to be done. It did need to be done as soon as possible to halt the spread of the coronavirus because remember, it was going to wipe out the whole world. Yeah. Orange traffic cones were deemed better than nothing. Orange traffic cones, that would stop it all. I remember that decision really clearly. It was early on in the week. On Monday, Gollschewski said we had to close the borders really quickly and they wanted it done on the Wednesday. Okay, so here you go. Jeanette Young, health minister, health, whatever, no, not minister, sorry, health officer. She said it had to be done. Premier said this is going to happen. Rings him up, gives him a call. Want this to happen, make it happen. Steve Gollschewski is the man. So obviously he is a. I'm not going to say he's a bad leader or anything, but he's very forthcoming. He's very forthright. He will be very much a on the front foot when it comes to leadership and leadership styles. As you can see, what happened here, he was given the direction. This is what they wanted to happen. He doesn't. He doesn't. I've never heard him speak of. He didn't say in here that there was any questioning of this decision. Indeed, the when the mandates came out, Katerina sent out an email, statewide email to all police. I remember reading that email, um, saying, "Hey, this is what's happening. The mandate's going to happen. You have to get the vax." A couple of minutes later, I read that email. A couple of minutes later, I noticed, oh, there's another email. What's going on? And it was from Steve Gollschewski, and it was just backing up what she had said. There was no questioning. There was nothing ever coming from him. He'd been given an order, and this is what we're going to do, and he backed up the commissioner. As you can see from this article, the call came from the premier from Jeanette Young. This is what they needed to happen, and he made it happen. So Steve Gollschewski as a leader, he's a better leader. He's actually a leader. So Steve Gollschewski won't have that problem because he is a better leader, a stronger person, a stronger personality than Mark Ryan. I still blows me away that Mark Ryan is still in office. When you look at the failures that he has had over the last 4+ years, it blows me away that they have allowed him to stay in that role. Anyway, all I'm going to say about Steve Gollschewski, if you're a government that has something like what happened in 2019, you have another pandemic come out, and you want strict border controls, you want mandates across the board, you want law and order, you want to bring in curfews, you want to bring in harsh restrictions, you want to make sure that everyone does as they're told. Okay. Well, then Steve Gollschewski will be your man. He will be the man. He's not going to question them. He is not going to question the legality. He's not going to cast any doubts about what the politicians, about what some other health minister would say. There will be no doubt. There'll be nothing. I don't think there'll be anything conflicting with inside of him. He'll get the order to shut the border, to bring in mandates, to bring in extreme restrictions upon the public and enforce those restrictions, and he will take on that role with uh, with great fervor. Put it that way. That's the kind of leader he is. That is the kind of man we are getting. And all I can say is I would hope and pray that we do not have another pandemic or something like that. Disease X, I would hope and pray that nothing like that happens while he is police commissioner and while Labor is in power. Better leader than Katerina. Yeah. So I just hope and pray that we do not have another pandemic while he is police commissioner. That's my opinion. Thanks for listening to The Slippery Slope.
Just fuel a desire that will take me higher. I'm on fire because nothing's gonna